My dear friend, you are most welcome on my channel, Kafir International Organization. Today we will discuss about the incident which have been occurred or happened recent days, the developments of these incident, that is the killing of the, not the killing, but the elimination of the Hania Ismaili, who was a dreadful terrorist and he was the Islamic goon. Actually, this is the problem is that the Islam does not respect of any ideology. Whether we are the Hindus or Jews or the Christians, they have no respect as we are the human beings. This is the main conflict between the Jews and the Muslims, and the Hindus and the Muslims, and the Christian and the Muslims. The Muslims have always the problem with the non-Muslims. Because after reading the Quran and its jurisprudence, that is known as Hadith, I found that the Islam is a total hooliganism or the Gunism against the non-Muslims. In the beginning of the Prophet Muhammad, so-called Prophet Muhammad, I would not like to say that he was a prophet. He was a most mischievous person of this world. As the Genghis Khan or the Genghis Khan, Halaku, and like any other the goons, as a Hitler, when we can criticize the Hitler, then why not the Muhammad? Muhammad was the most notorious person of this world. Due to this notorious Muhammad, the Jews are the most persecuted community of the world. Even though the Yazidis are also the most persecuted community of this world. Even though the Zoroastrians or the Parsi are the most persecuted community of this world by the Islam. This is the Gunism of the Islam, that now the Jews are very in few number. Almost 2 crores, almost, or lesser than 2 crores. Why this so? Because when the Islam incepted by so-called notorious Prophet Muhammad, he always tried to crush the Jews, because Jews always opposed the Muhammad robbery, the killing and the rapes, which was committed by the Muhammad and his companions at the time. Muhammad was a fanatic person who always crushed the Jews, because he was so lustful or lusty person in his life. There is no single evidence as compared to the Prophet Muhammad. Only some person are more lusty or lustful than the Prophet, so-called Prophet Muhammad. That was the Genghis Khan or Genghis Khan or Halaku. Even Hitler was not so notorious. He never raped the Jewish woman, I think so. It may be the possibility that his soldiers committed such type of crimes as the rapes and the killing of the women of the Jews. But Prophet Muhammad always looted the women of the non-Muslims everywhere in the world. He went to rob the Romanian woman at the Tabuk, at least 700 miles northwards towards the Medina. He always distorted the peace and the value of the humanity. He always destructed the world and its human nature. This is why the so-called Prophet Muhammad, the most hated person in this world. And what was the problem of the Muslims with the Israel? Problem is there only. There's this land of the Arab is belong to the Jews, not the Muslims. Because Jews were older than the Muslims. The Muslims only before 1400 years ago, a made person came and and he proclaimed that he is a prophet. After looting so many women, rape with so many women, and he took the gift woman in the gift as the Mari al-Kibati, a Christian, al-Mukukas, from the governor of the Alexandria, the Christian governor al-Mukukas. This is the reality of the Prophet Muhammad, so-called Prophet Muhammad. I would like to say he was a notorious Muhammad, not a Prophet Muhammad. Because the character of Prophet is just not alike the notorious Muhammad. Prophet must be a polite and submissive person. But this notorious Muhammad was always a notorious person who committed so many rapes. He committed so many wars. He attacked so many tribes only for robbing or looting the women of the Jewish tribe. Actually, Muhammad was a narcissist in his nature, and he was mentally retarded or mentally challenged figure. And he never went on the path of the humanity. He always restricted the values of the humanity and distorted the path of the harmony and the peace. This is why in the whole world, due to this Islamic ideology, all the Muslims are creating the hooliganism or the nuisance throughout the world. Every year in the Pakistan, there are so many women of the Sikhs, Jains and Hindus are being molested or by the raped by these Islamic goons, because the so-called prophet of the Islam, known as the Muhammad bin Abdullah or Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in my language, he was the notorious person. Due to the ideology of the notorious person Muhammad, we are in now trouble. And all the Islamic country are now trying to attack on the Israel. This is our duty. All the non-Muslims are united in favor of the Israel. Because if we cannot support the Israel, or we would not like to support the Israel, one by one we will be killed by these Islamic monsters or goons. Because they are brainless zombies. All the Muslims who are following the so-called Prophet Muhammad are the zombies, and they are wandering here and here to kill the non-Muslims. On the base of that, we are not following the Islam, Prophet Muhammad, and the Quran and the Hadith. Why we should follow the Quran and Hadith? This is a totally fraudulent and fallacy. That there was a Allah. There is no Allah at all. If there is Allah is the creator of this world, then this is no duty of the Allah that he would like to kill the non-Muslims, or he will like to rape with the non-Muslim woman, the Jewish woman, Hindu woman, the Christian women. This is why, my dear friend, this ideology which is known as Islam is spread by notorious Muhammad. Why we should not oppose this notorious Muhammad, who is the killer of the non-Muslim throughout the world since inception of the Islam? So this is our duty, that we must support the Israel in context of this, that one by one all the non-Muslim countries or the non-Islamic population would be killed by these Islamic goons or the Islamic monsters. These are the zombies which should peep out into the Quran and Hadith, and its jurisprudence or its description, that what has written in Quran. Some my friends saying that you are always screaming the Hindu and Muslims. I am not screaming the Hindus Muslims. I am just awareing you that you are in a danger if you are fool, stupid and aware of the reality of the Quran and Hadith. The only problem of the Muslims, that we the KAFFIRS, the Hindus, the Jews and Christians, why are alive on this earth? Whenever our cults are more older than this Islamic Goonism. So Islam is not a religious. Religious means the relevance or the relevancy. Relevancy means that phenomena we can adapt in favor of the human or in direction of the humanity. But in Islam, there is no relevancy with the humanity or the human values. Islam does not respect the human values. This is why the Islamic followers always try to crush or the kill the non-Muslim by the sword, by the power. This is why the Israel is now under threat of these Islamic goons and all the Islamic countries as the organization of the Islamic goons. OIC is the bundle of the jokers who are following the Islamic doctrine of the violence, Islamic doctrine of the stupidity. And we non-Muslims are so stupid. If we are disclosing the real fact of the Quran and Islam and its jurisprudence and its aim, that the aim of Islam only to eliminate all the non-Muslims or the kafir, as the Hindus, Jews, Christians, etc. Why should we not? Why should we oppose the such type of violence of the Islam? All the non-Muslims are only not to killing by the hands of the Muslims. This is our birthright to live on this earth with harmony and peaceful way. But where is Islam is preserving in this world, there is no possibility to leave the non-Muslim with peace and harmony, because Islam also neglected the peace and harmony in its vested interest. If the suppose Islam will be peaceful and harmonious in the next coming years, that there is no chance the looting the women of the Kaffirs, the looting the wealth of the Kaffirs or the non-Muslims, the looting of the rapes with the non-Muslim women. So these Muslims cannot be appeased without the rape with the non-Muslim women or looting the caravans of the non-Muslim. As Prophet Muhammad was the robber, he looted so many caravans or robbed so many caravans of the Jews. One of that was the Abu Sufyan caravan, that is now belong to the Quraysh tribe, that is the Jewish tribe from the Mecca, very respectable, honorable tribe, and the leader was the Abu Sufyan. So the only dispute between the Muslim and the non-Muslims is only that if the Islamic Goonism will continue, that there is no objection from the side of the Muslim. If the Muslim or the Islamic doctrine allowed to kill the non-Muslims or rapes with the non-Muslim women, for instance, all the non-Muslims are the Kaffirs. Or I would like to say in this lecture now that the Kaffirs, I will use only Kafir word for the non-Muslim of the world. So Islam is the tragedy to this world. Islam is a liability to this world. Islam who attracted the violence, destruction of the harmony and the peace, and who attract the molestation of the Kafir women. Due to this Islam, the Hindu women were being molested and are being molested. Because this is the nature of Islam. You cannot change the nature of Islam or the doctrine of Islam. Because as according to the Islamic clerics or the scholars, I am very astonished what type of the scholar in this Islam, because there is no wisdom in Islam. So only fight between the non-Muslim and the Muslims, because we are now taking counterpart or counter-mind attacks. This is our duty, all the non-Muslim, if Israel will not be alone. We are with the Israel, we the Hindus, I am personally with the Israel, because Israel is fighting for the peace and harmony. Whereas these Islamic countries or Islamic followers are fighting for the goonism or hooliganism of hooliganism in this world. So it is our right way or right time to support Israel at any aspect or every moment to support the Israel. Have you not seen in the past 7th October, I think, then the Hamas molested the Jewish woman on the eve of their festival, the annual festival of the Jews. Sabbath or sometimes such like a festival, Sabbath. And they were raped with the same day when they were singing, they were dancing, they were enjoying their festival, the annual festival. But these Islamic monasteries went there and robbed their women and raped so many women in a row, because the Prophet Muhammad or the notorious Muhammad was also a robber, a killer and the rapist. This is our duty. The all Muslims must be united in favor of Israel. Otherwise, one by one, this devil of the Islam will engulf us gradually as the Hindus, the Jews, Christians, Jain, Buddhists, Sikhism. And we have seen in the past what is the history of the Islam. Islam always a Gunism or hooliganism. And you see in India, the Muslims who are following the Islam are doing the same. They are Islamic goons. I would like to say that those who are following the real path of notorious Muhammad, they are the Islamic goons. If they are not following the path of Muhammad, though they are Muslim, but they are much better than their prophet or notorious Muhammad. So I would like to say we must unite in favor of Israel to fight against Islamic violence or Islamic doctrine or Islamic Goonism. Furthermore, we have also fight with the Goonism of the YouTube channel, who always strike our channels. This is our duty. If the YouTube channel strike our channels, this is our duty. We certainly pushed out from the India and every country. My appeal to all the Americans or the Israelis, all the European peoples or throughout the all non-Muslims or the atheists or the ex-Muslim, we must fight this Islamic Goonism at every corner, at every street, at every house. We cannot survive without the fighting with this Islamic violent ideology. And we have to defeat this violent ideology which is known as the Islam, or certainly we will be winner, because we are doing the fight against those who are not on the right path, which are following the wrong path of the molestation of the woman, rape with the non-Muslim woman. These are the goons, and we have to eliminate such type of ideology and the violence of the Islamic goons. Israel is doing the correct, and we must unite with Israel. All the non-Muslim, atheists, ex-Muslims, and other other reformers of the human values, or the escorters of the human values. Islam is totally a group of the desperate people, the zombies, or the mentally challenged people, if they are following the real path of so-called notorious Muhammad. Thank you very much. I would like to say please be united in favor of Israel. Thank you very much.